First thing I want to do here today is talk about Ben Shapiro, basically responding to you making money.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
He's so right.
Dude, I was watching this clip and I was like, this guy is such a f***ing liar.
Yeah.
Every point he brings up against you, first of all, that you agree with and addressed.
Yeah.
And it's just unbelievable. Let's just pull it up.
He was seething. It was awesome.
Dude, he was. His face was all, he was angry.
He was like mad that, he's like, how can there be a successful socialist broadcaster that's like only backed by his community and not, millionaire donors?
Anyway, you also ratioed him, was pretty epic. Your video got substantially more views than his. So
that's crazy. Yeah, he's got like 4 million subs too.
Yeah, I was surprised it didn't really hit off for him.
Yeah, I mean he was late to the game.
He's failing the culture war.
Yeah, that's why he's like that's why he's doing TikTok React videos now. Like that's what he does now. Oh yeah, he does them all the time, and they do well.
No,
because there's a lot of weird cringe shit on TikTok.
No way. Wait, I gotta look at that real fast. Hold on. I love
this thumbnail.
I'm inside your walls, Ben.
Yeah, that is so. Oh, that's a good usage.
Oh yeah.
Ben Shapiro TikTok. I didn't know that was popping off.
Yeah, he's just been like doing a lot of I think he's having a hard time juicing his content. You know what I mean? They're probably killing it on Facebook. I haven't really checked their analytics recently.
Always.
But like on YouTube, it's just like not too great because like the culture war stuff
it's
on
the
the
algorithm, bro.
side,
it's the algorithm's crushing his world.
Yeah, it's not good. So he's got to do whatever he can.
Here's one that has 6 million views. Ben Shapiro destroys insane far left TikToker.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Oh no! I didn't mean he's on TikTok. I meant he watches. This is the Daily Wire.
Oh,
I didn't even know that existed.
Oh, he's watching.
No, he does TikTok like React compilations.
I mean, that's the equivalent of Crowder going out to a college campus and owning freshmen.
I mean, I do it too. I love it, but like I'm not above that kind of content. I wasn't billed as the intellectual gladiator of the right by the New York Times. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Barry Weiss.
So here, let's see.
Cupiosexual people are asexual people who still desire a sexual relationship but don't experience sexual attraction. Cupiosexual people may decide to have a sexual relationship despite not feeling sexual attraction while others don't. Both are completely valid and communication is key. Hope I could help. Check out my hashtag Vampire Kid Explains for more.
It did. It helped. I now understand nothing about what just happened.
Fucking
How hard we have to work to come up with sexual minorities now, right? We have such a viciously intolerant, brutal, sexist, heteronormative, patriarchal society. We have alienated so many people that they have to work so hard to come up with being a member of a sexual minority. That used to like a person who didn't want to have sex, but who sometimes has sex. How do you identify
a person
into
didn't
it?
want to have sex, that maybe couldn't have sex, that was incapable of like me in high school and in college and basically all my adult life, just incapable of, finding a girl to sleep with me. I feel completely alienated.
It's just like Ben Shapiro is owning a literal 14-year-old.
Yeah, totally.
Like a literal 14-year-old wearing like funny makeup.
Unicorn outfit.
On their face.
Sometimes you're into the sex, you're no longer a cupiosexual, but this is the thing. It's all fluid, right? You can be whatever you want at any time. And no one has to verify any of this. You just declare yourself a sexual minority.
Yeah, what are you trying?
Who verifies your sexuality? Well, what is that?
Okay, so when I was 13, my parents verified my sexuality. They weren't sure if I was a boy or a girl, and it was very normative for for example, my rabbi to circumcise me and then suck my bleeding penis.
I didn't say any of that. I can't believe the things that he's saying here.
Well, I'm Jewish, so I can say it.
I don't even know
with it.
What that. I'm not even laughing at it.
Well, as you know, there's a practice. Even in Israel, they don't do it. No, I should clarify.
I'm familiar. I'm familiar with the jokes. I have Jewish friends. Like I know.
I'm explaining for the people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, there is I don't think maybe they probably still do it, but even in Israel, I think it's probably illegal. But traditionally, when you circumcise a baby, when I say tradition, I'm talking old school shit. But the moil just takes a little sucky of the blood. And it was actually really productive because the moil would sometimes give STDs to the newborn baby.
Yeah.
So that was good.
I've heard of that.
Sorry, trigger warning, I guess.
Yeah, that was,
But it is what it is. And Ben
I
knows-
too am unfortunately circed up. So they took something from us. They did.
Nice. That's where we're united. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's just not a big difference between.
No.
Well, you're Turkish, but you're Muslim,
Yeah.
so they snip you.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, there's a whole fanfare around it too. You gotta normally in Turkey. I mean, I got it here. So
What?
Because I'm an anchor baby, so I was born here.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, you were born here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
you weren't like
quick
18
snip.
circumcised.
No.
'Cause that
But
was a whole question.
no, I would have never consented. Are you kidding me? I'd be like, fuck no, dude.
At that age, no.
Yeah. No, they but when you're in Turkey, there's it's kind of like a bar mitzvah, sunnet is what it's called, and it's like a big ceremony, and you wear like this, pageant dress basically, this big outfit, and there's a whole celebration, and they snip, and there's no blood sucking or anything like that, but we have a gnarly old wives' tale myth thing as well, where they put it in the rice, like this big
No
pile of rice.
fucking way,
Yeah,
bro.
and whoever gets the pee-pee part,
No.
they are lucky.
They sure are lucky.
I don't think they do it. It's just like a,
Well,
it's
those
like a
stem
myth.
cells are no joke, bro.
Yeah. Oh god.
There's good shit in that foreskin.
Yeah. We've been. Everybody has some weird ass practices.
That's
dude.
rough. That's rough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but just to make clear, that doesn't really happen, except in probably Ben Shapiro's temple or whatever. He's very conservative. He likes tradition. I know Ben Shapiro likes tradition. Okay,
I don't
let's
even
watch
believe that. He's like a violinist from Los Angeles. I mean, there's a lot of conservative Jewish people in Los Angeles, though.
this. He's
maybe.
very traditional. Okay, let's watch. Anyway, so yeah. So this is a picture of me when I was coming of age, and my parents said very explicit to me that I am a male. They confirmed my gender, and
I was not allowed to dress up like this, even though I really wanted to. But that's why I'm a beacon of masculinity now.
And so when people tell me there's 52 genders, I insist on verifying because I was on a wrong path too when I was that age.
This P word is wet. Come take a dive.
I just don't. I will never understand that because a lot of these dudes, they try to abide by this super rigid standard of masculinity that they themselves don't fit in.
I'm sorry, but Ben Shapiro, if you want to talk about masculine traits, bro, you're pretty low on the totem.
Yeah, and that's not a weird thing at all. But
I'm
the
not
difference
the most
between someone like
masculine.
myself,
Yeah.
the difference between someone like myself and Ben Shapiro is literally a living, breathing proof that there is a spectrum and it's not a binary when it comes to gender and when it comes to what we associate with sex.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, Crowder's gay, so that blasts that whole thing wide open.
Yeah, maybe. We don't know. Allegedly.
All right, let's watch.
But if you've had sex with Steven Crowder, you should reach out to us.
Yeah,
We would
if
love
you've
to
ever
hear.
smoked meth and if you happen to be a gay hooker that smoked meth and had sex with Crowder in a hotel room, please reach out.
We will protect your identity.
Yeah.
I would like to find
We protect our sources here on the left.
100%.
All right, off the rails, but here is Ben Shapiro reacting to Hasan making money.
That is a truism of politics that hypocrisy is always newsworthy. Hypocrisy is always newsworthy. If somebody is a religious Christian and then they have an affair, this is a newsworthy event, according to the media. If there's a politician who's right-wing,
Absolutely.
that politician turns out to be gay. Really, really newsworthy, according to the
Do you have something to tell us, Ben?
What I find hilarious about this is that me coming out as a wealthy person, which is not even hidden and has never been hidden, which is part of the reason why it's never been newsworthy really, is as contradictory in Ben Shapiro's world as a Republican politician who's deeply homophobic in his policies and hurts gay people, coming out as gay, secretly being outed as gay.
This is the tip of the iceberg of the completely missing the point and just cherry picking, distorting. And this clip is really fucking insane.
Yeah, it's great.
media. But there's one area of hypocrisy that is just not newsworthy to the media, truly not newsworthy. And that, of course, is if you are a socialist who's extremely wealthy and gives very little charity.
By the way, this is such a niche. How many? And by the way, how does he know how much money you've given to charity?
He doesn't.
He's literally just created this
Yeah, straw man.
This hypothetical. There's so much hypocrisy out there
Yeah.
of socialists not giving all their money to charity.
And it's like, first of all, socialism is not charity. That would make Jeff Bezos the biggest socialist on the planet if that's the case. You know what I mean?
Right.
Socialism is not about charity. It's literally the exact opposite. Is that in a perfectly fine-tuned system where workers could take more of the fruits of their labor, which Ben Shapiro will get to in a second, then there would be no need for charity.
Exactly.
It could still exist, but there would be no need for it ultimately because the
Yeah.
government would provide for you.
The need for charity is the failure of government.
Yeah, 100%. But having said that, I do understand in the situation that we're currently live in, that charity is unfortunately, in a lot of instances, a necessity.
Right.
And I do donate a lot to mutual aid. I donate to,
I'd like to believe you, but Ben Shapiro says otherwise.
Well, the thing is, like, I do some of it publicly, but like not full blown publicly. Like, look at me, like I fucking did this. I'm so sick. Sometimes I'll do it publicly because I think it like motivates other people. Like during the Black Lives Matter, protests were happening all around the country. I donated to all the bail funds and stuff, and urged others to do so as well. I regularly work with other content creators who are friends of mine to make sure that we raise funds for, as recently as like a couple months back, we did a run with Jordan Ewell for the Baltimore homeless. And they raised a bunch of money there. I think it was like 25,000. And I do this stuff all the time, both publicly and privately, but it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah,
The funny thing
there's
is
nothing hypocritical about not at first. Yeah, exactly. Even
my
if you
favorite
didn't
thing
donate,
is whenever people get mad, they're like, they'll pull up like open secrets, and that shows all of your donations to campaigns.
Oh,
And they're like, he's only donated to Bernie Sanders. Like, he maxed out to Bernie Sanders. Like, what a hypocrite. It's like, what am I supposed to start a PAC? And like,
it's bro.
as a singular individual, like, or even with like a couple different people, like, what are we supposed to? Is that lobbying? That's how we're gonna win this battle. So silly.
It's just a bad faith argument, and
Yeah.
he knows that. Like he's smart enough to know what he's saying is bullshit.
If you are that person, then hypocrisy just doesn't play a part. Hypocrisy is never a problem because, after all, you're calling for societal change. You yourself don't have to abide by any of those rules.
That's what
Because
it is.
some animals are more equal than other animals. But
Ooh, a little animal
socialist
farm.
has
George
the
Orwin.
benefit of the bargain because you get to be as socialist as you want to, like Bernie Sanders, and then you get to have a lake house. You get to be a millionaire while proclaiming that billionaires are paying the flesh up.
Nice impression. Whatever
That was really good.
But yeah, I mean, again, it's like this straw man that socialists need to. They're like Jesus Christ. Give all money away. Give all worldly possessions away because you care about poor people. If you care about poor people so much, why are you wearing clothes, dude? You should be wearing fucking rags.
Like, why do you have a nice house? Like, if you care about poor people, it's absolutely preposterous.
Well,
And
it's a lie that really is effective somehow with people.
Well, it is because, again, a century of Red Scare propaganda, and it's really effective. It's so effective that even leftists themselves kind of get on that train as well. And this notion that like you can't be successful while being a leftist, or you can't be successful while being anti-capitalist, like I find that to be a really strange one, specifically because of the industry that I'm in. It's not like I'm in commodity production. You know what I mean? I'm in an industry where it's just me,
Just the dude,
for the most part,
Yeah,
and it's entertainment.
there's nothing contradictory about being wealthy and then at the same time advocating for laws and changes that increase your taxes. That's it. That's the thing. I don't need to vote in my interest. I fucking literally vote against my financial interests at every election. So that's it.
Yeah, and it's beyond voting for me as well. I mean, I believe that the electoral system has its limitations, and because of that, I care a lot about like workplace organizing, democracy in the workplace. These are things that I care about, and these are issues that I not only highlight as a part of my job that, yes, happens to make me a lot of money, but like didn't really not that long ago. It wasn't like there aren't a massive amount of leftists out there who are super wealthy. It's not a real thing.
You're probably the richest prominent socialist entertainer. I mean, they're just like, it's not this big category that Ben Shapiro is making it sound like.
Yeah, it's
So
not.
this issue has become relevant over the course of the past couple of days. Because a guy named Hasan Piker, who I believe used to be
Hussein
a Young
Pecker.
Turks guy, I don't really know that much about him.
That's a lie, by the way. I've fucking ratioed him into oblivion a million times. Like, he's just like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know who he is. I don't know. Like,
I don't know much about this guy, Hussein Pecker.
yeah, no.
Apparently is a socialist Twitch streamer. There's a big article, big glowing profile about him in New York Magazine titled Streaming with Hasan Piker, the AOC of Twitch. I'm a political commentator with like stands. Okay, well, in the past few months, Hasan Piker, it turns out, has been revealed to be a very wealthy person, which is good for him. He has a lot of folks who are following him over at Twitch. That is his prerogative, and I'm glad for him that he's been able to build a following. But
I don't think
a couple of times in the
No,
last
he's
month,
not. And by the way, I'm like, Ben, you're so much fucking richer than all of us. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like...
It's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
bro.
Instead, Hasan Piker should be making his wealth in the same way that I am by misinforming boomers on Facebook.
He should be selling supplements with asbestos and sawdust in it that cures COVID.
Yes. And also hiring psychopaths like Matt Walsh.
Woo.
Yeah. And
Who
other-
literally hates Jews, apparently. At the last coverage we did.
not surprising.
Yeah.
month, it's been revealed that this out and out socialist, I mean, this is what he calls himself, that he is a very wealthy man. Quote, Hasan Piker was in a rage. A million tabs were pinched together like sardines at the top of his browser. His jittery cursor bounced between them, summoning network news, Chiron's YouTube rants, viral tweets, and TikTok memes. The day's trending topic, Piker, who is 30, had purchased a $2.7 million house in West Hollywood. An ordinary Twitch streamer's housing wouldn't make headlines, but over the past 5 years, Piker has become one of the most prominent socialist pundits in America. The controversy about the purchase had made it to Fox News and Breitbart, and Piker was prepared to take on the interlopers who logged on to see the fireworks. Quote, the only reason my house is expensive is because of the area I live in, he growled. Are you guys really that stupid?
Yeah, so like this is what he does continually is takes literally one small passage in your huge coverage of this story. You talked extensively about it. And tries to reduce it to like the dumbest possible argument he can have you make.
Well, to be fair, he is white knuckling as he reads the
He
New York
is.
Magazine
Look at-
article that was written
literally,
about
eh?
me. And those articles are always going to be like, trying to explain what I do to a bunch of boomers who still read magazines and stuff. So like that's going to be reductive no matter what. And I mean, I don't really care. I think the guy who wrote it was really nice. He was definitely a fan. Like he was well aware. I mean, that goes through like an editing process, so it's whatever. But even then, it's like it's not my fault that the Los Angeles real estate market is like abysmal and awful, and it's something that I
spend
routinely
whatever
talk
you
about.
want on any property.
I know,
You can live in Wyoming and buy a $3 million mansion, and it still doesn't undermine your politics.
Yeah, like my politics is not like people should not have nice things.
Yeah,
that's never been
that's my point. Is like there's no need to even get in the weeds about like, oh, LA's expensive. It's like you can spend your money on whatever the fuck. you want.
I'm also an avowed hedonist too. Like I believe that consumption is good for sedating the masses. I think people need that. That's like a thing that I routinely address and criticize prior experiments in socialist transitional states. So that is something that I like literally does not fall outside of my point of view. That's not something that's changed throughout the years either. Like I've been advocating for that for a very long time.
That's not even a response to the charge. The charge is that for a socialist, you seem to be spending large, my friend. It doesn't.
That's the charge.
You could have. There are a lot of places that are not in West Hollywood that don't cost $2.7
Again,
million.
he goes, he didn't even answer the response. It's like, well, yeah, you read a brief excerpt of exhaustive coverage.
They're all over the United States. You can get yourself a tiny little shack and live yourself the Henry David Thoreau lifestyle for probably 30 grand somewhere. 2.7 million
40
bucks,
grand.
a lot of money. I don't see you handing that out to all
Dude,
of
he's not Jesus Christ, bro. He's a fucking dude.
the
He's
immiserated workers.
Why
in the
would I
Marxist
live in a
social
shack?
construct.
Also, where are there
Right,
shacks
that's
for
the
40
charge.
grand?
And his response is, well, of course it's expensive around here. This is West Hollywood, which of course is not a response.
That is a response.
said
but
3 weeks later-
Wait, hold on, pause for a
It's
second.
not.
What's funny about this is that like he didn't have to do the meme. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people try to at least like couch their anger in like some kind of moralistic position and some kind of like logic and reasoning. And the intellectual giant Ben Shapiro here literally goes, you call yourself a socialist. Why don't you live in a shack then? Like, you didn't have to do that. You could have just, you literally did not have to say that.
Why
You
not?
could have
Why
gone
not just
anywhere
live in
else.
a cave, bro? I mean, you don't even need to buy a shack. That's pretty.
It's so stupid. It is.
If you're a socialist, then why don't you live in a cave and live by wood fire
because ultimately that's
and hunt
like
food for a living?
Ultimately that revolves around like, I want you to go away. I don't want you to be successful. I don't want you to keep, talking to people in the same way that you're doing. I don't like that you are demonstrably changing people's minds and attitudes. So just go away. Like, yeah, I'll just go live in an area where there's no internet connection.
Yeah.
And people that don't make that argument, that say like, well, why don't you live in a cheaper, house or whatever the fuck? It's like, well, I'm comfortable. Like, I want to be comfortable. I want everyone to be comfortable. I don't know why people are getting upset at that. I've been living in that same neighborhood for many years. Nobody had an issue with it when I was
Let me just make
paying
this
rent
clear.
to a landlord.
In a perfect social society, there are still going to be rich people, right?
Yeah, there's still.
Thank you. That's it.
This is not about like creating this weird equilibrium. It's about making sure that people get more and having the government absolutely cover the basic necessities for survival, and then beyond that, give people more time to themselves so they can pursue more fulfilling endeavors and all this stuff. It's silly to try to routinely move that conversation away to these aesthetic points.
Yeah, I just got a note, actually. Ben's so upset he's starting a new podcast to combat ours, the right-wingers, and looks like they're about to go hog hunting.
Two manlets.
Two boys.
These are not
Just
short
two
kings,
boys. This guy,
Extra large and
Ben,
extra hard.
this guy makes Ben look like a normal height, and I know Ben's like 4'7", I think.
Yeah.
Quote, as long as you don't defang your core values, as long as you're still speaking truth to power, then F them. Yeah, speaking truth to power is being the guy who buys the $3 million house and does interviews with New York Magazine and then jabbers about how the rich don't pay their fair share.
That's not where I'm speaking truth to power.
It's just, bro, if you were speaking truth to power, you would go live in a fucking hut and build bombs you'd be the Unabomber.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
He's
how you
like,
speak
why,
to
why
power.
he calls himself a socialist. Why aren't you Ted Kaczynski?
Exactly.
What is this? Yeah.
Oh, actually, speaking of Ben's height, and I don't like. First of all, I would never. Only because he goes on about masculinity, but he is actually like 4'3".
That's
so.
not real. That can't be.
No,
real.
I think
No, that's a real shot.
Really?
That's
no
real.
way.
No, for sure. He's like 4'1", I think.
You keep changing the number, Ethan.
He's a very short man, is all I'm trying to
You
say.
started off with like 4'7". Now he's at the 4'1".
There's nothing wrong with being short. It's just that he is this alpha male that
I love my short kings. Okay.
short kings rule the world.
Yes. Shouts out to Noel Miller, Cody Ko, Noel more.
Oh,
so
AB
than
just-
Cody.
AB, okay, you don't have to name them.
I'm just saying, but they are kings. They are kings. Jabuki. Like there's a lot of short kings out there who are kings.
All right,
you know?
you're getting ready to round them up, dude. Stop putting their names out
yeah,
there.
yeah. That's my secret.
Oh, what was that fucking great Randy Newman song? Short people got no reason to live. You don't know that song?
No. What the?
It's a satire about hateful idiots, but he goes, "Short people got no reason to live." It's fucking awesome.
That's crazy.
I played.
I disagree. I disavow that.
But it is
I
a
love.
joke.
Yeah, as a tall, I have to stand by my short brethren.
Yeah. AB just told me Ben's actual height here is 4 foot exactly.
Yeah, it's
That
crazy. I'm reading that right now in
Not
the
what he
Discord.
said. That is not what he said.
What is he going to sue me for defamation?
No fake news. No fake news here.
Your Honor, I am clearly 5'3", and Ethan, he absolutely defamed me by saying I am 4 feet. Now that's just unacceptable.
Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. I'm doing this in the least exploitative way you functionally effing can. Really? He says, it's my labor. I'm the one who's streaming for 10 hours. Welcome to capitalism,
I didn't
my
get
dude.
this point at all.
So that's the funny part where he's like, I got you. I owned you. It's like he's basically saying like, is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow, right? And that is hilarious because this is reductive.
Yeah.
But that's literally like at the heart of Marxist theory is like being entitled to the fruits of your labor, being entitled to your value that you create as a laborer is literally the opposite of capitalists who believe that they can make money off of the process of exploitation off of others' labor.
Oh, it looks like we already downvoted this, by the way. But
Damn.
I just didn't get this point that he thinks it's own. It's like you don't. I just don't get it. It's just weird. He thinks
It's my labor?
Yeah.
Yes, whose labor?
Yeah.
So, in other words, you bet on yourself, you've done really well, and you believe that you deserve to keep the proceeds of that labor. But aren't you exploiting all the people?
Well, you're not saying don't increase my taxes and make social systems.
No, I am an advocate for all that and beyond. So
Like,
I don't.
His logic, it sounds smart, but it's not. It's nonsense.
No, you have to be like fully invested in the Ben Shapiro verse and his way of thinking to be like, yeah, he's really spitting right now. Yeah, he's fucking killing this one.
Well, a lot of people do. I mean, he's overwhelming. People look at him. He's so pissed off, dude.
Yeah, he's just like I'm telling you, he's like white knuckling through this. Like, why are they writing nice articles about him?
Angry.
People who are engaged in commerce with you? After all, what service of value are you providing them? You are Twitch streaming video games.
That's
Is that a
lie.
vital social service? What makes that service significantly more important,
Look how angry he
socially
is.
speaking, from a Marxist perspective, than the guy who picks up the garbage? Why doesn't he own a $2.7 million home in West Hollywood?
First of all, that would be sick. And also, garbage people are like the last. Like, here's how out of touch he is, because people who work in sanitation are heavily fucking unionized.
Yeah, they do well, right?
And also, they get paid like out of all of like the utilities workers, like they get paid oftentimes the most because they're unionized.
But what is he?
And because they provide like a really important utility, but so does the guy who's packing the groceries. So does the guy who's delivering those groceries.
Right.
And my point is literally that those people should see more. They should see more of the profits back in the form of their wages if they choose to do so, or even have a say at the very least in how those profits are used. You know what I mean?
Ben keeps.